I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, I didn't wake up and thought that, मैं क्या बनूंगा? मैं insurance salesman बनूंगा. Okay, that's never our ambition, right?
वो लिस्ट में कितने नंबर पे आता है?
वो आता ही नहीं है लिस्ट में. Insurance salesman.
Why
आपको
do
क्या
you
बनना है? Insurance salesman. Yeah, he's like, dude. Imagine us walking in following the herd, right? I mean, there is no problem. I did that. Okay, probably most of us have done that. There is no shame, but it's on us. Okay, nobody is going to teach us. It's on us to how we put spots on our back so that we can be differentiated as Dalmatian. Okay, ये Dalmatian है, ये sheep नहीं है, right? So that's something that that will come only when you put depth into it. आप अगर गोवा भी वो delay होता है flight से, right? We send you a link, okay, that your pre-approved claim is ready to be claimed. All you need to do is follow the link and upload your UPI. Okay, people thought it was scam. अरे कोई मांग रहा है यूपीआई ऐसे थोड़ी दे दें.
You must be thinking another pre-roll? Wait, let me just skip it. With Altuni, there are some boring things which you can avoid, like the long wait for promotions or increments, or the numerous interviews before you land your dream job. At Altuni, we make sure that you're future ready and skilled to be in the top 0.5% club. Click on the link in the description now.
On Sunday we land. On Monday we visit a doctor. On Tuesday we take a test, MRI. On Thursday I was admitted. Friday I got the surgery done, awake. On Sunday I was discharged.
So how do you prepare yourself for that mentally? A lot of times what happens is students don't get enough marks and they get disappointed, saying that my life is done. I won't be getting it. I have my average profiles now. I'll not get into IIMs. But something as big as this, how do you get back?
Again, I think the humor played a big role in terms of, so humor has always played a big role, so how we take it up, right? So the doctor whom I met in Bangalore, right? The first question that I asked him was not, if I can remember anything, etc. What will I be able to hold my violin? I still clearly remember. That was my first question. He's like, you will become L. Subramaniam. Right. So I exchanged this in terms of, I wonder I should have come to you before. Okay, so I wasted all this career, all my life, practicing
so hard.
Yeah, so hard. But yeah, all said and done, I think it turns. And BASF being BASF, Germans being Germans. Okay, you can name them whatever you want, but they are thorough professionals. Once they found out that, and once I shared my medical reports, etc., they actually postponed my joining with paid leaves, right? So who does that, right? You don't know me, etc. So this is what BASF does. But then by that time, I wanted to spend time with my family and be close to the family because it's always very difficult to get a 10-hour flight, etc. if something were to happen, right? So yeah, so that.
While you decided this, what was your next stint? What were you looking at, and why did you go to something which we, again, when we started, discussed, that is insurance?
I was in a self-deprecation mode, because such a life incident happened. It is obvious natural to be self-deprecation. So I was I was overweight. Okay, so I was like, at one point of time, I reached like 89 kilos. So it was quite a struggle, and I flunked a couple of interviews, okay, with a couple of consulting companies, right? I would not.
So you wanted to get back to consulting?
Yeah, so I didn't know, right? Whatever got me my confidence back is so. So I approached it this way that, there was not a logical step approach.
Right.
I approached it like a spray and pray, okay, which I won't recommend, by the way, right? But at that point of time, at your lowest point, when your family is pitying on you, okay, so looks at you in a pitiful manner. So it is very difficult, right? So I flunked a couple of interviews. Then, so then Aditya Birla Group, I had applied for a group leadership program. I wrote some essays, etc. So again, like I said, had it not been for the books that I had read because of my dad, right, I wouldn't even have written in terms of, what that essay meant. So it really meant, okay, So it meant in terms of what my personal aspirations would be. Because Aditya Birla Group, I mean, they can go hire anyone from IIM Ahmedabad, right? But they decided to take a bet because of my essay, right? And
What was there in the essay?
so it was a business case that they were planning to start 2 years later. It said that insurance, okay. It said how will you go to market an insurance company, okay. It never said life insurance or a health insurance, okay. At that point of time, I did not even know in terms of what a life insurance license would be, etc. But
Did you have one?
Okay, so this is an irony, right? I never had one, okay. I thought that company was enough. When I joined MBA, I took a sabbatical, okay, from Wipro. Okay, they were happy to give me a sabbatical. But the moment BASF worked out, I quit, right? At that point of time, I was not employed with BASF, so I would be logically not covered.
Right.
I was not employed with Wipro anymore. So what happens then? That's when I understood the power of, thankfully, Priya, my wife, and my mother had a policy, so that happened. And so that's the reason that, why insurance happened.
What were you doing at ABG when you went in there? Did you ask them that you want to get into insurance because you wanted to develop something that you have had ideas for?
Yeah.
Or was it a natural choice and selection that happened?
So Aditya Birla Group decided to do an internship program because they wanted to take me, but they were not sure. So that's when it happened, life insurance. I was part of life insurance. And the CEO, the deputy CEO of life insurance, at that point of time, Mayank, who's a great mentor. So he liked my 2 months work in terms of whatever I did. In 2 months, all you are doing, you think that all you are doing is that shuffling papers or presentation slides, etc. But you don't know the impact that can have, right? So even if you are interning, etc. So this would be my piece of advice: do it as it means the world, right? It's just 2 months. I mean, you have nothing to lose, right? At any given point. But he did like me. So when I joined, when I got my offer letter, it was supposed to be a rotational program, like 3 stints, 3 each companies. First, I did in ABOF, which is no longer existing. Yeah, fashion. After 2 months, I wrote a mail to Mayank that, he moved out to health insurance. So from life insurance, he was starting up health insurance. So yeah, so that's when I wrote to him. And my second, third stint, and then I got converted in health insurance itself.
You mentioned about LIC in the very beginning when we asked people about insurance. Yeah. LIC is, going for an IPO now. A lot of companies are coming up with purely selling insurance as the center stage, right? A lot of new age apps are coming up. Yeah. A lot of data is being taken by a lot of companies. What part does data play here? I mean, how important is to get that skill?
If you buy, say, a Honda City vehicle, right? Same, and if he buys a Honda City vehicle, same color, same model, same year, etc. Would your insurance premium be different, or do you think that it will be the same? Yeah, that's where you're wrong. So the premium that we, usually insurance company gives, okay, is data. Right? Because, and we have so much of data that, that is unbelievable to prepare a right model, right? The number of cash on delivery, if you have ordered, you are a little high risk, right? You are more prone to, probably, you will say that, how will that determine in terms of, if it is cash on delivery, how will that determine my driving style? But it does. Not on the driving style, but your fraudulent style. You are more prone for fraud than him. I mean, I'm not saying that you, okay, don't look at him like, that. But yeah, so if someone orders on cash on delivery, the propensity of him committing a fraud would be a little higher. Do you guys agree or not? That all plays a role. And that's why the premium is no longer same.
Right. What was the big revelation to you? Because since you are also working a lot with data, in the last, I would say 5-10 years, the entire spectrum has changed, right? Yeah. What was that big revelation to you when you were working in the insurance sector?
We don't even cover the tip of iceberg, okay? We have adult population, type 2 diabetes is, so I'm just giving you an instance in terms of why insurance would need to grow a little more and mature, right? In Indian adult population less than 45, the type 2 diabetes is 77 million people suffer from type 2 diabetes, right? It's a lifestyle disease. But which insurance company provides you health insurance like to like, okay? If you declare that you are diabetic, then the premium would be extremely expensive. So we don't cover, so insurance as a whole industry need to mature in terms of, so right now there are a couple of products which take care of, how you are working out, etc., based on the number of steps. That exercise does only 10% or maximum 20% of it. It's basically food, right? But imagine, I'm linking it to your question before, the data, okay? All of you guys, okay, if you are suffering from type 2 diabetes, God forbid, right? If I take a consent of you that, provide me the data that of your food orders from Zomato or Swiggy, right? Help me help you. Because it's a lifestyle disease, we all agree. We want to help you. We will monitor in terms of, how you eat, what you eat, at what portion, etc., etc. Maybe you can commit fraud, but that's not the intent, right? This is how the organizations need to start thinking, and probably we are leading that.
Right. Anujan, help me understand. You are working with ABG. You said that when you do mistakes, there is a safety net that's there in a MNC like that, right? From there, you decided that you want to join a new age startup. And Acko is something which a lot of us know by now because of Murthy. So because of all the ads that we are seeing and the kind of, super spends that are happening to make visibility happen, what was your Acko story?
So I always wanted to be, because I personally believe in the story, and I'm fortunate that, even the leadership believes, Acko's leadership believes in that story that, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, I didn't wake up and thought that, मैं क्या बनूंगा? मैं insurance salesman बनूंगा. Okay, that's never our ambition, right?
वो लिस्ट में कितने नंबर पे आता है?
वो आता ही नहीं है लिस्ट में. Insurance salesman. आपको क्या बनना है? Insurance salesman. Yeah, he's like, dude.
Consulting, IB, ये सब करना है.
Investment banking and all that. But insurance, right now, because consumer, when you start thinking like breaking it down in terms of, consumer का क्या problem है? वो बोलता है कि invest करना है मेरे को, okay? Invest क्यों करना चाहता है? Because the consumer, what I learned, especially in sales, is there is no unidimensional problem for a consumer. If he's investing because something would have happened to him, his relative, or to his neighbor. You never know. If he's buying an insurance policy and he's managing to get it, it can be because one of his friend met with an accident and broke his leg, right? That will never come out in terms of a normal conversation. So it is never unidimensional. The consumer's problem, especially in insurance buying, will be quite magnanimous. And I wanted to come to a company because Acko, we are a technology company incidentally selling insurance. Right? We have the license and we want to make a difference. Insurance, we want to make it easy. So that's why I joined Acko.
So in order for people to join the InsureTech market that's booming right now, right, where you necessarily do not have to be like a insurance sales agent, as you just mentioned, right? What are the skills that I need to work on?
You guys have seen Zomato, Swiggy, delivery agent, right? So they are being covered for 3 years from insurance, okay? Because and we have seen cases, right? So Delhi mein, I don't know if you would have read a paper that one of the delivery agent got smashed by a police cop who was driving under the influence of alcohol. Okay, that case was shut, but the family, right? I got a call at 12 o'clock in the night, etc. That this claim needs to be settled. Usually we wait for the postmortem, we wait for all those formalities, but we took a call in terms of we will settle the claim, right? So these empathy to the customer, because you never know, you actually are the only point where, because insurance is a promise, okay, which you think that should never come to, I mean, for you to fulfill that obligation, right? Our relationship will come when there is a claim, okay? Unfortunately, there is a claim. And at that point of time, where you are the lowest, you are at your lowest dignity. If it is a hospitalization, you are actually at the lowest dignity, right? That's where it becomes, all your humanity at the time and paralleled with a business acumen needs to come in, okay? And I think I cannot stress enough in terms of, how humanities play a role.
Anujan, you are also associated with the Altuni. You have, been gracious enough to teach students or, make students aware of the fields that you have expertise in. What was that program like for you? How do you think that the new generation is opening up to programs like this and, sectors like these?
Yeah, so it was first of all a privilege to get that opportunity, and especially for an insurance, and which is considered to be really, really boring and dry as a subject. Because let's be very honest, right? I read one case of insurance, and that too on a HR module. Okay, so एक insurance company था, but never in terms of how it impacts life. Have you guys ever come across an insurance case study in your life ever? Yeah, so thought as much. But this is what, so I gave them a case study and I helped open them in terms of, and they were also curious in terms of, acha, ye bhi hota hai. Like I said, that example of, cash on delivery, fraud, etc., etc. They were quite surprised. And I think that, the awareness needs to be there, and I would like to be long associated with, and you guys are doing a fantastic job there. Yeah.
You mentioned that empathy is needed along with business acumen, but $1 million skill that you can bank on for the next 10 years of your life.
Go depth, build depth. So build range, find 2 or 3 topics, go deep into it, right? Because I think the fast food generation these days, I mean, they are spoiled with multiple choices in terms of careers, etc. But still, there would be one couple of them. You need to go deep, right? Be it finance, be it arts, be it the business, be it communication, be it PR, etc. So go deep. You can be a marketing guy, right? But you need to have that niche. So imagine us walking in following the herd, right? I mean, there is no problem. I did that, okay? Probably most of us have done that. There is no shame, but it's on us, okay? Nobody is going to teach us. It's on us to how we put spots on our back, so that we can be differentiated as Dalmatian. Okay, ye Dalmatian hai, ye sheep nahi hai, right? So that's something that that will come only when you put depth into it. It's hard work primarily, and yeah, that's
absolutely. And there is no shortcut to hard work.
Yeah.
You can't do smart work, but still you have to work hard.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Anujan. On that note, I am going to open up to the audience.
Acko is a D2C company, but now you have mentioned multiple times like Zomato, Swiggy, Ola. So like you're having integrated in so many platforms right now. I think earlier it was on PhonePe as well, right? So that goal was scalability or brand building mainly to build a trust for the user, because it's D2C mainly. Now you do it B2B2C.
If our objective is to reach the end customer, right? I mean, we have to be there in terms of so where cred users are. So we do a lot of stuff with cred and the lending cards of the world, etc.
So it's mainly brand building, I can say.
I mean, so let me talk to you about, we are the first insurance company, okay, proactively, आप अगर GoIBO delay होता है flight से, right? We send you a link, okay, that your pre-approved claim is ready to be claimed. All you need to do is follow the link and upload your UPI, okay? People thought it was scam. अरे कोई मांग रहा है UPI, ऐसे थोड़ी दे दें.
I would also think the same.
So because people are tuned for a lousy service in insurance, right? That's what we are accustomed to, and that's something that that I am proud to say that we are changing one claim at a time, right? I'm using this one policy at a time. So usually in insurance it's one policy at a time, but we are very clear, one claim at a time, right? So that's how. I mean, so today I got that data that 35% of people who have claimed from GoIBO, we have helped, have taken our policy again when they booked GoIBO.
You've gone deep in classical music and violin, and you've gone deep in insurance. Where do you see these 3 very different depths of skill sets sort of co-mingle or support each other? Something that you picked up in a violin lesson or practice helping you in insurance, something that you picked up in your practice in insurance or building this product or claims or all of that helping you in your violin study or your classical music study? Because you've gone deep and you look like a poly.
Interesting question. I have not thought about it that way, but I can attempt to answer. Is that, I see a lot of, because insurance is still 0.0000% penetrated, right? It has immense scope in terms of, coming up with creative products, right? Like for example, with, I can't name the partner, but we are working with, say, a credit score protect plan, right? If you have not paid your credit card bill, right, on or before the due date, there is a grace period that's given to you for T plus 3 days. We pay the minimum due. So this needs innovation. This needs creativity. And insurance is such a product, right, where sky's the limit. The regulator also has come in a long way, evolved. So I see a lot of parallel, because if I would have played, say, a Raga Bhairavi today morning, the same Raga will sound entirely different depending on my mood. So the same way, same logic applies that, why should I not look at the problem differently in the evening? Like I said, consumer's problem is never unidimensional, especially for insurance. Right?
On that note, thank you very much,
Thank you so
Anujan.
much, Paul.
Thank you for sharing your story and making it so accessible to us. So thank you for making us understand how the world of insurance is working now and where it's moving.
You must be thinking another pre-roll? Wait, let me just skip it. With all theory, there are some boring things which you can avoid, like the long wait for promotions or increments, or the numerous interviews before you land your dream job. At All Tuni, we make sure that you're future ready and skilled to be in the top 0.5% class. Click on the link in the description now.